I didn't really have any other plans for the tune until I sat down at my house one day and started goofing off on the lick and came up with this whole concept of I Feel So Alone, and that basically came from the idea. I had a student that I used to teach. I guess I was around all these kids all the time, so I was pretty heavily affected by, you know, these random people that were involved in my lives or in my life. And I met this one kid who was like probably 14 years old, and I'd never met somebody who was so alone in my whole life. His parents were divorced. His mom had like 2 jobs trying to support him and his sister. His dad was, you know, working his, you know, tail off too, and this kid just got kind of forgot about in the meantime. I mean, I'm sure his parents loved him, but they just didn't really. I think everybody was scrambling so hard to kind of keep it together that they forgot that, you know, he needed love and attention, and all he did was play video games all day long. And you know, he was a pretty cool little kid. You know, actually pretty bright, but he was very emotionally distraught and out there. He would cry a lot in lessons because I'd be like, dude, you gotta practice, man. And he was like, you know, it's just so hard. And I'd be like, I don't care, man, you gotta practice. And he would just kind of start crying. I'd be like, oh God, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. And then finally I started realizing that, you know, him crying was just a way for him to release, you know, and he was just kind of right there on the edge of almost always crying. And I kind of started, you know, so half of the time when he would come into lessons, we would just hang and talk, and I'd ask him about, you know, if he liked, you know, sports or girls, or, you know, where he was at in his 14-year-old existence, you know, because I don't think anybody else was really asking him that stuff. And so I wrote this the song was basically about the idea of picking up the paper and love and affection and all that stuff being a thing of the past, and it's about a lot of other stuff. So
Plus, it's got just a funky, undeniably funky beat. I did a little bit of what I call offbeat ride bell work.
Nice.
And that just kind of, I don't know, it's
really tied the room together.
It's a toe tapper. And I do the effeminate voice just in tribute.
Yes. Oh man!
But not to, you know, rain on the. That was a beautiful story. And I don't want to.
You're not going to
take the piss out of it.
Yeah, you're not going to.
I actually have a student who also when he started, both of his parents were together. They would alternate bringing him, and then they went through a divorce. And I could tell when he got down on himself about not doing something right in lessons, that he was more upset about the other stuff that was going on, and that just gave him the opportunity to bring it out. And he would cry after a few times not getting the fill right. You know, he just put his head down. I mean, he's I think 11 now, but at the time when he was around 9, start crying, you know, putting his head on the snare drum, and I realized we're not going to get anything out of the lessons. I'd take him upstairs and give him some candy, and all of a sudden, you know, he'd be in a completely different
just hang, you know.
But it's tough when you go through something like that. Like a teacher is more of almost like a therapist or a mentor at that point.
Sure,
and
yeah.
my job at that point was not to come down on him for not getting everything right. It was to, like, you know, hey man, what's going on? Let's figure out, because sometimes that's the best part of their day.
There's a 14-piece horn section that ended up playing.
What's the name of that horn section?
The Mercury Orchestra.
Oh, they actually play together?
Yeah,
wow.
They're a bunch of hoodlum horn players. And
awesome.
Tom Gibson, who was a teacher of mine in college at Georgia State University, just one of the coolest dudes ever, helped arrange that horn part.
He helped derange it.
He helped derange it. That's very well said. And
you should put that on the record. Deranged by.
Deranged by. And Lester played the trumpet outro, and the whole thing just came together so cool. We had a cooler full of beer, and everybody got in there and had a couple beers and just let loose on the New Orleans style street party thing. And I think it really added the final kind of mixture to the tune.
How come there weren't any beers when the rhythm section was
Because I had to keep you guys under control, man. You were already like letting loose a little, you know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.